Hey everybody, welcome to Love Multiplies. I am Phil. These are my friends, Rachel and Becky.
Hi.
We talk about adoption and infertility and how to build healthy families. So what we're going to do today is hear their story, and I want them to just give some of their best practices and things that they really learned growing up together as sisters. Go ahead and take it away and tell us what you've learned.
Okay. Something that I just want to encourage people who have adopted children of color or are members of a transracial family is to let go of some of the guilt and the fear. You're not messing it up. It's okay if you don't know how to do your daughter's hair. It's okay if you forget to put sunscreen on because they're darker and you don't think they'll get sunburned. Like, these are not things that are going to destroy a person's life. But I know that it's kind of a heavy burden when you're raising a child that is different and can experience racism and heartache, and you want to protect them from that. But I just hope I can relieve some of that guilt and that pressure that loving your child is enough, and that if you're asking the questions and you're seeking out the education and the information, if you're on this vlog, then you're already doing the right thing and going the right way.
Yeah, and we were talking earlier just about, family is messy, right? So we often say we forget that we don't look alike, right? So, we've gone to a makeup counter before and he's asked us, oh, it's girls' day out. And we said, well, it's sisters' day out. And we get a look like, huh? Yeah. And, those are moments where that reminds us like, oh yeah, we don't look alike. But yet, we live in this family that has diverse people in general, and we love each other, we fight, we cry, we do all of those things together. So it's special and also ordinary.
Yeah. Extraordinary.
There you go.
Extraordinary.
Obviously, the bond that you share is immediately noticed.
Yeah.
What did your parents do to make sure that Becky, you loved Rachel, and Rachel, that you also loved Becky, and that there was not this moment of acceptance, it just always was?
Well, we kind of joke that in our family we over-communicate because our dad is a minister and our mom was a social worker, so we were always talking and we were always in our feelings. Becky talked about this a little bit, but she talks about how our parents explained early on to the bio siblings that I would be treated differently because I was Black, and that my life would look different than theirs and some opportunities wouldn't be the same. So I think that was a good piece of it too, of just mom and dad sort of keeping it real and honest.
Yeah, it was a real open communication about these things are similar and these things are different. And, we as a family are going to sort of walk through this together and try to figure out. My mom and dad didn't know how to do this either. They don't know what it's like to be Black in America. So they muddled through a lot of it. I mean, your hair is a perfect example of that, and mom really having to learn how to do Black hair. And we also, one thing we've talked a little bit about is, at birthday tradition, on our birthdays, my mother would always tell our birth or welcoming story, I don't even know what to call it, but, and then my dad would tell the baptism story. And so it was just very normal. We got very used to it. We all knew about the story about Rachel getting off the plane.
And I smiled at mom, even though I wasn't old enough to smile yet.
Because you had gas, probably. So, but, and then we all thought it was just normal that we had a different kind of birth story.
Right.
But those were common things, even though they were different. They were all sharing the same stories in that way.
That is powerful, and it's so encouraging. For those that might be watching this right now, they're probably thinking, if I would like to adopt internationally, and I'm going to bring a child home that is different than my current race, how does transracial adoption look? What would you truly tell that couple that's considering it today?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's perfectly normal to have reservations, but I also think that And it sounds silly, but I do think that I was chosen to be in the family that I was in. Like, even if you're carrying the child, that child was destined to be your child. I was destined to be in the family that I'm in. And so I think you have to really rely on the Lord that He already knows who your child is going to be, whether it's domestic or international or black or white. Your child is already picked out. So just rely and lean on that. I think the other thing that I would say is it is going to be hard. It would be hard if it was your biological child. Like, life is messy and broken and hard. So there is going to be heartache, and there is going to be times in parenting where you're like, what do I do? Or you're certain you've messed it up.
Totally.
But that's okay, because you really aren't. Like, it really is going to be okay. So.
Yeah, and I'm going to share a story that may make me cry here a little bit, but you know, when our mom died in 2016, and Rachel's birth mom sort of came into the picture at that same time, and I, as a sibling, watching Rachel walk through that, and it was really beautiful, because you got all these questions answered, you know, like, why do I do these things? Why
am I a hot mess?
Or, you know, just, I mean, you recognize all of it, and it was so beautiful to watch that. But it was also this moment where I felt like, no, you belong with us. Like, you are part of our family. And that was a real moment, and I want people to realize that when you create family and you create bonds, it doesn't matter if you share sort of that bloodline, right, or the same color, or this, you know, all of those things. It's that you find those, you know, those things that bind you together. And in our family, that was, you know, faith and love and you know, laughter and struggle, really,
heartache,
and finding who we were in all of that. And so that sense of belonging to a family can't be undone,
right.
I don't think.
It can't,
That is so profound. Like, wow. I'm so moved by their story and their honesty. And I'm just so grateful that you are so willing to share your journey. And it's messy, like they said, life is messy, family is messy. Like, if you have biological children, they're gonna be messy. All adoptive family, they're gonna be messy. Transracial adoption, they're gonna be messy. A foster family, like, they're gonna be it's all gonna be messy, but guess what? The redeeming qualities that God has for us to just come together in love and unity is just like powerful. And they're a living testimony to unity and inclusiveness and just compassion and love. And as we say here, that love multiplies, and
it multiplies.
this is how when you make sacrifices and when you choose things that are out of the ordinary, greater things can come. So thank you so much, Becky and Rachel, for sharing your story. If you guys have any questions, please leave it in the comments below. We are so grateful that you guys are here. As we always say to you, go let your love multiply. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.